What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your man ChazzEllis once again answering the questions that you ask me. Make sure you go to the ChazzEllisProject.com if you want to know about the live streams we're having. Also, if you want to get a consultation, ask a quick question, or if you just want to check the site out and see some of the stuff I've posted. Also, go to AskChazzEllis on Facebook if you want to be a part of some of the discussions that we're having. Also, if you want to check out some of the Chaz Asks or any of those things and the quotes that we're having. Anyway, I did a video yesterday. By the time you watch this video, it may not even be yesterday. It may not have been yesterday, but I'll put an annotation down there somewhere where you can watch the video. It was called Houston Woman Marries Herself. For some of y'all that have heard about it, woman got married to her doggone self, you know. Anyway, in that video, I talked a little bit about how some women don't actually want to be married, don't actually want to be somebody's wife, but they really just want the title and the ceremony. You know, the opportunity to just be the center of attention for a day, and also just to be able to say, hey, I'm married. Even if it's to their damn self. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I hadn't heard too many people getting married to themselves before then, but I've heard about these commitment ceremonies that women do. I never seen a man do it before, but it's basically like where I'm committing to myself, not marrying myself. Like, she went all out with it. She just took it to another level, really. But I have seen those ceremonies before. Anyway, I got some questions from that, and it was basically saying for women, well, damn, why does a woman have to marry herself? Why is it these men don't want to get married? What is it about marriage that makes these guys, you know, just so uncomfortable that makes it to where women are to the point where they actually have to marry themselves? Really one of the things is, you know, there's a lot of reasons why guys don't want to get married and don't really feel like marriage is a viable option anymore. And I'm basically decided to do a video about that, you know, the 5 reasons why guys don't want to get married anymore. And I'll just get right into it. The number one reason, and believe me, there's more than 5 reasons, but these are pretty much like the 5 top reasons for people that I talk to, all the guys that I talk to. Number one reason that guys don't want to get married anymore is they don't get anything out of the actual act. The actual act of getting married. If you notice, just, you know, pay attention to the situation. A woman gets a ring. She gets a ceremony where she gets to be the center of attention. And all of her friends are going to be like, oh, you know, you got married. Because have you ever taken a woman to a wedding? Everybody is like envious of that woman that's getting married. Even people who are already married. It's the craziest thing ever. It's like the ceremony is such a big deal, you know, and if you did take a woman to a wedding and you didn't notice that, then you're not very perceptive. That might have been why you were fighting for 3 weeks after that. You know, because when you take a woman home after you've taken her to a wedding and you guys aren't married, she's always like, man, that wedding was so beautiful. I wonder when it's going to be my turn. If she's not doing that, then she might not really like you that much and not really want to be married to you. I'm just being real. But in general, if they like you and they want to be married to you, then usually that's what they start talking about. Like, oh, man, I want my turn and that kind of stuff. So that's what you kind of get out of that. So she gets to be the center of attention. She gets a ring. She gets, you know, her dream situation for a lot of people. And don't get me wrong, some people can't afford everything that was in their dream wedding, but they're still getting more out of it than a guy who's not getting anything, really. He's buying a ring, and most guys are really not too interested in having some marriage ceremony. They're not going to be the envy of all their guy friends or anything like that. That's not going to happen. So even a bachelor party, now there's a bachelorette party. So it's like, okay, what do I get that you don't get? Okay, number 2 reason why guys don't want to get married is nothing new. Even if they haven't been getting it from you, pretty much anywhere you go, as long as you're on top. What I'm saying is, most women aren't marrying some bottom of the barrel dude that's out of shape, broke, has nothing going for them, unless the woman is really, really low on the totem pole also. Most women are not marrying dudes that are just completely worthless. They're usually marrying guys who are trying to get married to guys who are on top, who are doing well in some way, who have other women who are looking for them. So the things that woman is willing to do, the things the woman that he's going to marry her is willing to do, Most other women are willing to do the same thing as long as he's on top. As long as he has money in his pocket, as long as he's good looking, as long as he can talk to women in a way that's going to make them feel comfortable with him, he can get all of those things from somebody else. So when he marries you, what is he getting? There's nothing new involved in this. He's not going to get something new, something extra. It's not like, okay, I'm getting some new sex. And 9 times out of 10, the things that you're going to give him after a marriage, you've probably already given to somebody else who didn't even marry you. So nothing new. A guy is looking at it like, okay, I'm getting married. I'm spending money. I'm, connecting my life to this person, and I'm getting absolutely nothing new out of the deal. So what am I getting married for? Number 3 reason why guys don't want to get married anymore. High risk, low reward. As I told you about nothing new, they're not really getting anything new out of the situation, nothing that they couldn't get from being in a relationship. But there's also, so that's the low reward, but there's also a high risk. The truth of the matter is, you got to remember, I talk to hundreds of women on a weekly, monthly basis. Hundreds. I talk to women who are married. I talk to women who are single. I talk to women who are trying to get married. I talk to women who are doing all kinds of different situations. Everything in between. From no man at all to married for 20 years. And everything in between. And what I've noticed about women in general is when they're pursuing a guy, a lot of women are willing to put up with more from a friends with benefits than they are a husband. Because they're pursuing that ring. They're pursuing that title. And as long as they're doing that, 9 times out of 10, they're willing to jump up and down, jump out of a window for that guy. But when they get married to the guy for whatever reason, a lot of times it's like, oh, well, he's not paying attention to me. I want a divorce. Or he's working too much. I want a divorce. But I'm like, wait a minute. That other dude was sleeping with other girls, didn't call you for weeks at a time, but you still trying to make it work. So it's the high risk, low reward. It's like, if I marry you, now when I make a mistake or I do something wrong, I'm putting myself in a situation where before I could have cheated on you and maybe you would have left, maybe you wouldn't. But either way, it didn't really affect me or my bottom line. Now if I'm in a situation where if I come home late from work and, don't really pay as much attention to you, I lose my house, I lose half my money, I'm paying you spousal support, whatever the case may be. I'm losing a lot. For what? What did I gain out of this situation? It's not like you were really more committed to me. It's not like you were really, it's not like I was getting more sex. It's not like I was getting more of anything. A lot of times you get less sex. So it's like, what was I really getting out of this situation to take this big, high risk? So when you start looking at it from a logical standpoint and not an emotional standpoint, a lot of guys look at it like, what's the point? What am I going to gain from this when I'm risking so much? I'm risking so much to get what I already have or I could already get from other girls who are willing to do exactly what you're willing to do because I'm on top. Number 4 reason why guys don't want to get married anymore is a lot of women are just not in it for the long haul. It's kind of like I was talking about before. A lot of women, once they conquer the situation, once they get in a situation where they're like, okay, this person has married me, I have the title, I have the ceremony. Now it's like all of a sudden they start getting real particular about how the guy treats them, what the guy does, what the guy says. It's all real like, it's kind of like now all of a sudden the things that they let go before, they don't let go now. Also, you run into a situation with a lot of women where it's like you get married to somebody, they're not really in it to be your wife and be in it for the long haul. It's like you get married to somebody when they're on top, have the good job, look good, other women are checking for them. You get married to them in that situation. Then when you get with that person, say they lose their job and they're out of work for 2 or 3 years or whatever amount of time because, things can get rough on them. What happens? You might start treating them differently. You might leave them. A lot of people do. Even though they say they wouldn't, they do. The person cheats on you. Things going bad in y'all relationship or whatever, they cheat on you. You leave them over that. So basically, what's happened in this situation is that person took the time in their life where they were riding the highest, because they could have invested 10 years into a relationship and then cheat on you and you'd leave them. So basically, it's like I've invested the time in my life that I was riding the highest, and I could have had as many women as I wanted, and I stopped that to be with just you. And now that I made this mistake or that mistake, I'm not making your life easy anymore. You're out of here. Just like a random chick would have been if I wasn't on top. So why did I get married? You're not in it for any more of a long haul than any other girl is. If I'm no longer able to make your life better, if I'm no longer able to treat you better the way you want to be treated, if something happens to where I'm not myself, I'm not at the highest level, and I'm not treating you at the highest level anymore, you're ready to bail. So it's kind of like getting married to you has no real value in that situation. I know I may be saying something that's upsetting a lot of people, but I'm just telling you how guys are thinking about this situation. It's like, if we weren't married and I cheated on you, you'd leave me. If we're married and I cheat on you, you'd still leave me. So why should I buy you a ring? Why should I spend money on a ceremony? Why should I do all this stuff when I can have my beach party all day long, and when I'm going, when everything's not going my way anymore, I'm going to be by myself, just like I'd be by myself if I married you. Only difference is when I get with you and get a divorce, now I owe you some child support most likely, I owe you some spousal support, and half my stuff is gone. Now, I'm going to be balling still, even when, you know, my light is dim. Number 5. The number 5 reason why most men don't want to get married anymore is you could be trapped in a bad situation. Right now, as it stands, if I'm just talking to you or we're dating or whatever the case may be, when you piss me off, if you stop having sex with me, any of those kind of things, I can just dump you. I'm like, okay, well, you know, it was nice knowing you. I don't want to be involved anymore. But when you're married, now it's like the moment a woman stops having sex with you and you end up cheating on her, you're the bad guy and you got to go through this whole process. So for a lot of guys, it's like, I don't want to be trapped in a bad situation. I don't want to be in that position where I can't get out. So why not just dump you whenever I feel like it? As long as I don't get married, I have that power still. So why get married? And this is what a lot of guys feel about marriage. And the solution for women is really you just have to ask yourself, do I really want to be married? Or do I just want the title in the ring? If you just want the title in the ring, I think doing the ceremony, like I said in the other video, doing the ceremony for yourself really makes sense. Also, or doing some other kind of a ceremony that makes, you know, that works for you. But getting married to somebody when you're not really in it for the long haul, when you're not really willing to go through things with them that someone else wouldn't do, because you have to understand it from a man's perspective. I know there's a lot of shaming tactics. If you was a real man, you'd marry me. That's just like me saying, if you was a real woman, you give me your car. If I'm asking you to do something that's not beneficial to you, but beneficial to me, I'm playing on your emotions and trying to play you like you're stupid. So if you want to make it for it where it's worthwhile for a man, you have to be willing to be with that person when they're not making your life easy. That's what I talked about when I talked about if you leave a guy just because he cheated on you, basically you're marrying yourself. The reason why I said that is if you're only willing to be with somebody when they're making your life easy and they're doing all the things to make your life good, then basically you're not really marrying them. You're marrying the good, positive things about them, which is kind of like marrying yourself. If I mess up, that's when I'm going to need you. When I'm broke, that's when I'm going to need you. Otherwise, why wouldn't I take the high time in my life and just do whatever the hell I wanted to do and not have to worry about dealing with being with one woman and responsibilities and stuff that go into that? Why would I deal with you when I could just kind of do my own thing and I'm going to probably get the best out of you anyway because you're going to be auditioning? So what I say to women is, if you're going to get married, be in it for the long haul, be there when the guy is down, and if you can't commit to that, then you have to understand that guys are probably not going to want to get married, especially when they're top level guys. And this is why you see so many women marrying bottom of basement guys. Dudes, I mean, I see women marrying dudes that are in jail. Like, God, dog. You marrying dudes that are in jail, but this is the reason why. All right, it's your man ChazzEllis. Hopefully I was able to help you out. Make sure you go to the ChazzEllisProject.com. Like and subscribe, and also share this video with somebody else. Peace.